Yo, what's good? Back at it again with another one. Today, you won't believe this, Cameron is firing back at 21 Savage's comments. Hold up and peep this clip.
It's a lot of talk going on the internet. And I don't want to just relate this to rappers because, and this isn't about any rappers, what I'm about to say. I see somebody on the internet. I wish I remembered his tag. If you guys remember his tag, make sure you tag him when you guys see this. But it was a guy talking about, the streets, because certain rappers would say the streets. And I don't have an opinion if they say the streets or don't the streets. I'm talking about the rappers and how they feel and everything else. I have zero opinion on how they feel on that. But I did like what this person said. And what this person said is this, that, he was a street, and then he said he basically didn't get nothing out of it. And he wasn't saying the streets, but he basically was like, the streets made me, but at the same time, the streets robbed me of who I could have became. And I was like, yo, I really like the way he put that. Because there's so many people that the streets, how I want to word it. The streets helped you definitely become who you are if you grew up in that environment. But let's say you didn't grow up in that environment and you could have been a chemist or a doctor or something else, but you didn't have that path. So sometimes the streets will rob you of being something greater than you may be already. And a lot of us that come from urban environments are so proud. I'm from the streets, what you could have been. And Lotus Luck said, why couldn't fly in the friendly skies? Why you had to take that drive? Why couldn't he fly the friendly skies? Yeah, that was one of my favorite battles right there. Shout out to Lotus Luck. Shout out to Calico too. Smart. But yeah, we're so quick to say that, yo, we street this, that, and the third. Now don't get it.
All right, let me dive in real quick. Girl, Cameron is coming at this with a head-leveled vibe. He's not totally shutting the message down, but he's also not just swallowing it whole.
Not gonna have the street success story. Everybody's not gonna have the Jay-Z quote unquote, only I'm not saying what he did in the streets, did his rhymes, he says. You're not gonna always have the luck of selling 92 bricks, lost 92 bricks and crawl back and get it all back and everything else. That's not for everybody. That destiny is not for everybody. So sometimes you have to think about what could have been if it didn't turn out good already, because the environment that you grew up in. I talked about this a year or two ago on It Is What It Is. We only go with the opportunities that's given to us. You know what I'm saying? You have an opportunity to where, I think I was talking about chicks in Colombia, and I was saying that they don't really necessarily want to sell them for, $35, $40, $50, $60, $70. What was the price, Nick, when you went out there? $50? Yeah, $50. Like, Nick went more recently than me. They raising the prices. I see inflation. It's just tariffs and all that. They might be raising the prices. Bad is $50, but this is the environment they.
Yo, what's good? So here's how I see this. Listen to this. Cameron is taking a nuanced stance that a lot of people totally overlook in moments like this. He's nodding to the core truth that living a life of crime and glorifying that grind doesn't lead anywhere good, especially for younger fans watching from the sidelines. At the same time, he's pushing back on the idea of writing off the streets entirely like they're all bad. For so many artists, the streets also mean the people who believed in them early, the ones showing love before fame came knocking. Cameron is making a clear line between harmful actions and the environment itself. And trust me, that distinction is huge. He's basically saying you can hold yourself accountable while still showing respect. You can steer folks away from crime, but never forget where you came from or the people who had your back. That balance keeps the whole message real instead of tipping into extremes. It also avoids looking down on the very audience that helped blow up these voices from the jump. So make sure you drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe for more content just like this. I'll catch you in the next one.